If you want to laugh and have some fun, this is the podcast. This is the one. Lights, camera, action on your marker, set, go. Welcome everyone to the Suezie Show. Welcome everyone to the Suezie Show. Welcome everyone to the Suezie Show. What's up, everyone? How's everybody doing? I hope you're doing good. And if not, I hope this puts you in a better mood. That's what's up at the Suezie Show. I try to put you in a better mood, in a better spirit. If you're feeling bad about whatever, man, I hope I make you smile. Even just a little crack smile on your face. Not crack like a crackhead. Like crack like, you smirk. Give a little smirky smirk. Anywho, I was on the phone with a good friend of mine yesterday, and during the conversation, I realized that I have been podcasting before the internet existed. I kid you not. I have been basically, in my own way, in a twisty way, I've been podcasting. In the early 80s, I'm giving away how old I am. Hey, listen, I don't care how old I am. I'm just glad I'm still here. I'm still here. That's what's good. Yeah, I woke up this morning, but I digress. You know already. By now, you should know I do that. Do. Where's my fart gun? Come on, I said do. We need this. Oh, that was a good one. Gotta have the fart gun. Anywho, I'm on the phone with a good friend of mine, and it made me realize, in a twisty way, I've been podcasting since before the internet, before the word podcast even existed. I would literally call my friends, and if their answer machine, and at that time, answer machines weren't even digital. They were like this tape recorder. And if you don't know what a tape recorder is, it is, think of old style film. Right? It's actually film. You could touch it and it's rolled up in a roll. It's kind of like that, but in a smaller... Look it up on the internet. I hate saying that. That's a conversation killer, but I want to continue with my point. It was a tape, and the tape only had so much time on it that you could record, because it's only like... Some of the bigger ones would be like 60 minutes or 90 minutes that you could get on a tape on the front and the back. But you could only use one side because it was an answer machine. Anyway, I used to call my friends and leave, seriously, 15-minute messages on their voicemails. It wasn't even called voicemail. It was called answer machine. We didn't even say voice. No, I never heard voicemail until it became voicemail. Think of mail through a voice. I don't know. That sounds more electronical. I don't know when the word voicemail really started being a thing that everybody says. It's a everyday word. They left a voicemail instead of left a message. Most people, I don't know. Let me know what you do. Do you say voicemail or do you say message without even thinking about it? When someone leaves you a message or someone leaves you a voicemail, it's the same thing. But what comes out of your mouth? I don't know, man. I don't pay attention to what I say when I say that. I think I say both. When I say, like, so-and-so left a message. No, I think I still say message. If it's a text, I'll specify text. But if it's a message, to me, that means it's a message. Anyway, I used to leave messages for my friends that were 10 and 15 minutes long. Literally. I don't know how I would do that. I would probably be telling them what happened that night or the night before, what I'm doing that night, what's going on this weekend. I have no idea what kind of mess. I'm pretty sure that's about what it would be. What's going on, where I've been, what's going on tonight, who's this, what's what. And and my friends would get mad at me because when I would leave these messages, I would leave just enough time as if I'm on the phone with them, sitting there listening to me talk, and I give them enough time, like when I say, hey, what's good? And I'll give a second for them to actually answer me back. I would leave these messages that you would feel if you were listening to it, they felt like they were having a conversation. Within like 3-4 minutes, they would forget it was a message, basically, and they would start talking back as if they had me on speaker. And then they would remember at the end of the message when they would hear beep, they would get pissed. And that's when they would call me back and yell at me for leaving such a long message, making them feel after a few minutes like, oh, I'm on the phone with her. She's on speaker phone and I'm just, having a conversation with her. And it's a message. It's not even me.
And I just thought that was I thought that was funny in a peculiar way, and funny also, just funny. Because I did that to my friends. What a pain in the ass. And God bless them that they stuck around me and put up with my ass. My goodness. That's a need. Oh, little one like that? Come on now. There's a better one. That's much better. This is also a time when if you didn't get in touch with your friends, in my defense, that was a time where there were no cell phones. There was not internet. Social media didn't exist. Those words, you use the word social in a different way and you use the words media in a different way. They weren't together because that didn't exist. If you wanted to hang out with your friends, or you had concert tickets, or you wanted to go out for dinner, or whatever, you had to make sure that your friends got in touch with you, or you got in touch with them before you left the house. Period. Once you left the house, unless you have some dimes, it used to be 10 cents. 10 cents the payphone. There would be payphones all over the city and all over the place. There used to be payphones everywhere. And even if you didn't have a dime, you could actually pick up the phone and call the operator and send a collect call to someone. And the operator would call the person and say, I have a collect call from Suezie. Do you accept the charges? And you could say yes or no. But there was a trick to that. I remember this. There was a trick to that. You could pick up the phone and you could try to do, and when you call the operator, it's not like you're doing a fake emergency. That's not what it was at all. You weren't misusing some kind of emergency line. So, chill the hell out. That's not where it was, and that's not what it was. There was literally, you could pick up the phone and try to make a collect call to someone, and they would contact the person and make the collect call on your behalf, and it turned into a recording. So when it was time for you to record your name, when it said you would like to make a collect call to, and it could be a local number. I mean, the charge could literally have cost the person 10 cents or a quarter or something like that. But instead of them paying for anything, if you were slick about it, instead of saying your name, every payphone had its phone number where you would press the buttons to dial. They all had their phone number right on the phone. So you could, instead of saying your name, you could say the numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's me. And you say your name quick. And then when they say you have a collect call from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it's me. You'd be like, okay. And you hang up, you decline that, you pick up the phone and you call that number and your friend answers and they're like, what's going on? That's about, I remember that's when beepers started coming on the scene. And oh boy. If you had a beeper, everybody looked at you like you were either really cool or a drug dealer. There was no in between. Unless you had like a suit and tie and looked super businessy, then yeah, obviously it was for your business, like you were a doctor or something where you needed to be beeped. But I remember when beepers started going into mainstream. I don't know how long doctors might have had them forever. I have no idea. But I remember when that shit went into mainstream and people would have their beepers clipped to their waist. And it was like, okay, you're cool. All right, I see you. Mister. Got your beeper on the side, clipped off to the side of your waist there. I see you, big shot, big man. All right. You know what I'm saying? That's how it was, though. Seriously, when there was no cell phones and none of that was out, you really did hang out with only basically, I would think, at least I did, mostly with all the kids right from your neighborhood or from your school. And that was it. It wasn't like, oh, I have a friend on the other side of the world and we video chat real time. I could see, they could tell me a joke and I could laugh right at it as if we're sitting right across the table from each other. That would be like science fiction back then. There wasn't cell phones. There wasn't internet. You got kindergartners who have phones with computers on them. That's nothing nowadays. It's like secondhand for the internet to exist and cell phones and to be able to contact people whenever you want. Back in the day before this, which wasn't that long ago. It sounds like, oh, it's 100 years ago. Bro, we're talking like 30 years ago. No, more than that. Okay, my bad. Let's see. We'll call it 82, early 80s, 90, 2020, about 40 years ago. It's not that long ago that it's such a huge... 40 years is a decent time, but it's not like 1,000 years. But the technology that we have now from only 40 years ago, it's like nothing to what we have now within 40 years is a huge technological jump for mankind. And we're living in it. We get to see it. I got to see it. I don't know how old you are listening to this podcast, but I got to see it. I got to grow up where there was no cell phones, no internet. Your friends were across the street or down the street or at the basketball field or at the baseball field, or the people were out. That's when you got told, go out and play. Go out and play. And you didn't want to sit at home anyway, because you're not going to sit at home and watch TV. There wasn't that many channels. Cable wasn't a big thing yet. Cable became a big thing and a mainstream thing. I would say early 80s is when the mainstream, like middle class and lower middle class, started having that cable box. I don't know how old you are again, but it was a big old box, probably about 6 inches tall and about 14 inches long. It was like oblong, if that's the right shape. I think, yeah, oblong. And it had one knobby that clicked in the middle, top, and bottom. You just could push it up, middle, down. And then across from that, all across the whole thing, you had all these different buttons that you pressed. And above the buttons was a sticker that told you on this lower row, that's this channel. When you have that middle click bottom, middle up, if you have that click to the bottom, when you press these buttons, it's showing you on that sticker, okay, well, now this is ABC, this is NBC, this is CBS. Now, if you click that clicky to the middle, now you're in the middle ones, and you look at the sticker. And after a while, you know exactly which channels. And out of all the channels that you could get, I would say maybe 3 were decent. Seriously. Anyway, I think it's awesome where we are today. I love that I got to see it come into existence and become so mainstream and so useful. And it's really, I think, made the world smaller. We could see what's going on the other side of the world without it being filtered by the news people. I'm not bad-mouthing them. I'm just saying they do get paid by certain people, and certain things do get filtered out or presented a certain way. But with everyone being able to present the world to each other, it's unfiltered. We see what's really happening with each other. And I think that's a good thing. I really do. And on that note, I want to thank you for listening to the Suezie Show. I'll see you next time on the Suezie Show. See you next time on the Suezie Show. Yeah.
Thanks for listening and hanging out. I'll see you next time, without a doubt. Now you know where I am and you know where to go. See you next time on the Suezie Show. See you next time on the Suezie Show.